Anyways,
Hello,
boy.
Jared. Oh, I'm in pain.
Welcome,
Well-
motherfuckers.
you miss us after an off week. This is
Oh,
the
God.
energy we bring, and unfortunately,
Get a little
you
punchy.
have to deal with it, and we will not be apologizing. I might. The
None
others will
whatsoever.
not be. So any apologies you are expecting, please. We will not be
Nope.
accepting receipts. Anyways,
Tweet Joe at blah 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 blah.
no, don't. No.
You mean X,
No.
Joe?
No, I refuse to call
No,
it.
no
Joe will always
returns.
be Twitter.
Be sure
No
to leave
returns
Joe a
accepted.
comment card rating his cat wrangling.
Make sure to comment and subscribe and ring the notification bell.
Okay.
Come on. Hey, Joe, aren't you supposed to be, like, starting the show or something like that? Come on, what are you doing?
I don't think it would take
He's
that
gonna
much
kill
effort
us.
for me to find you, Lucas. I really
Aren't
don't.
you so glad you invited me back?
I am.
Get it out.
First time in the
You
podcast,
forget
I was
who
already
you have
ready
as your
to kill
captain.
him. I
For first-hand experience, she's terrifying, you all. Don't fuck with her.
Oh gosh, I'm about
Anyways,
to die. This is
welcome back, everyone. Now that everyone has finally decided to shut the fuck up for more than 5 seconds, as per usual, we'll go around, do rounds of plug and promotions if people so wish. Otherwise, we will be jumping right into it. I will preface this that this might be just a hair trigger longer than usual, but that's about it. Anyways, whoever would like to go and promote or anything like that, please do so.
Hello, I'm Slay. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Sons of Warvan. I'm a TTRPG performer, and today I'm ready to get court-martialed.
Which one you?
well. Hello, everyone. Considering that I made the sound I'm supposed to talk, so I guess that's a rule now. Anyway, hi, it's me, Little Legend, your favorite chaos maker. As I was nominated by the chat today. Anyway, I can be found on Tumblr, Little Legend Arts. I will be happy to see you there. I do take commissions and I post my art as regularly as I can. And yeah, and today I'm gonna watch our darling Slay be court-martialed. Yay!
That was said with an energy. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're a little
I took
punchy
it out.
today.
A little.
I took a nap. That's it. That's
Mood.
all it took.
Salutations, I'm Silver Sugar, aka Risa. You can find me on the internet as Silver Sugar or X Silver Sugar. The X is silent. And right now I've got some adoptable available over on my coffee, as well as I also do commissions. Yeah, working on some stuff down on the future that you can keep an eye out for, but those are for later.
Alright. Let's see here. Wow. Yeah. That was a bizarre little. No, that was really strange. I don't know what the fuck happened there. But
If you think that pause was like a pause between our shenanigans, it wasn't. We're just typing them down.
Wait, what I miss?
there was just a weird, like, I don't know. It must have been like a auditory sound lag. It just felt very strange. But anyways, and then for myself here, I don't have that many announcements other than hopefully this upcoming week, my players for the Pokemon game is going to conclude its first arc, and hopefully I'll be able to start uploading episodes after that.
Fun fact, I'm there. If you can't handle life without me, you can always find me in that game.
I'm so excited. I want so badly.
Yeah, they've upgraded to manslaughter. Anyways,
Oh,
but
We're committing war crimes. I'm not joking.
But
Oh, boy.
anyways, as for announcements on my end, I do have a couple of projects that are in the background that maybe will happen. The big one that we're kind of working out, and we'll probably do a little bit more once this campaign is finished, figure out the Lower Decks 2-shot, and figure out all of that. That will, in fact, be a recorded game. We won't be streaming that one. It'll probably be streamed, it just won't be streamed live. Then there is, hopefully, by the end of this year, or by the beginning of next, we will have our next Star Trek Adventures campaign all the way out in the Delta Quadrant. Star Trek Fringe will be our Star Trek kind of colony life game, because apparently I'm allergic to having a game on a starship.
I'm so excited, though.
But the...
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
But that should be something to look forward to, and potentially maybe some stuff in the interim if I can get certain people to reply to messages, because we all have squirrel brains, and it's very hard to wrangle cats. Not these ones, the other ones. But anyways, we will catch you back here in just a moment as you get to see this episode and one more probably.
Thank you for going with me on that one.
It is
Welcome
not
back,
letting me-
everyone. During the last episode, the crew of the Hypatia, well, damaged and still reeling with consequences of an orbital strike dealt by their hand, kind of went through the motions more than anything. Everyone seemed to have a little bit of internal crisis, some a little more than others, let's say. With the help of the USS Intrepid, commanded by one Ashlyn Orso, who had been promoted to captain, though with recent help and relief efforts and the way she has behaved, there is a good chance when they get back to Federation space proper, there will likely be a court-martial and a demotion awaiting her. the Hypatia being kind of out of commission for the Slipstream hub and such for quite a bit of time here. Thankfully, through some repairs and such, with the Intrepid's help, you were able to cruise at a healthy warp 6.5 to 7 for, we'll say, a couple days now. If there is any type of scene that anyone would like at this present moment aboard the Hypatia, though she is getting repaired, the damage is still apparent, and the casualty rate is still... it's still there. It's not going away.
Real quick question. Is Jaloran now in command? Has Jaloran taken command yet?
Jaloran would have taken command, yes, because
Alright,
Ashwin told, Captain Orso told Jaloran to get the fuck off the bridge and go to her own.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, so everybody's back on their proper ships, so.
There's been a little bit of, like, transport between Hypatia and Intrepid and vice versa for repair crews, but also so some of the Hypatia crew can get some rest. Just going around, I just want to know if there's any particular scenes that anyone wants to do before we get into, like, the meat of something.
Not really a scene, but I would just like to say that Leora has not gone over to the other ship.
Okay. You were ordered to take rest. Have you left your room at this point, or no?
If I was ordered to take rest, then like I would just have
It's been
probably
a couple
stayed in my
days,
room.
which is why I'm asking.
Yeah. I would have gone to my shift if I like had to go to a shift, but I would have like instead of lingering or anything, I would have just gone there, sit, wait like the exact moment that my shift ended, gone to my room.
So you're kind of just going through the motions at this point.
Yeah, Leora's not dealing with it very well.
Okay. Kavai, Mira, Kana, Jordan, anything that you would like in this particular moment, scene-wise?
I think Kana is mostly keeping herself busy, assisting with repairs and such, not really trying to not really think about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's backing down in main engineering, assisting the chief engineer.
Yeah, the chief engineer, you're learning a good person at heart, just outwardly she is very mean.
Jola's been doing a lot of catch up. She did miss a fair bit. But she's also been making an effort to go around to different parts of the ship. When she's not on the bridge, she's going around and talking with people one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's only for like a couple of minutes, she's trying to touch base with everybody.
Yeah.
See where they're at, how they're doing.
I think the read is pretty easy for you, Jaloran. The morale is... with the Intrepid's help, it got better. The morale is not good. It is... You did a mission, for sure. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this crew did a mission. But this crew has never suffered a mission that had such a heavy give and take. And looking around the Hypatia, repairs that they make the Hypatia function above all else. I don't think there is any illusion about what is going to happen to the Hypatia when you get back to Seoul, which is the Hypatia either passes her name on to a different ship, or this vessel it's scrapped. There's so much damage here. The repairs are to get you home, essentially. It is not a permanent fixture.
And she just does her best to listen and be there. It is like she doesn't try to like force anything on them that they're not willing to hear just yet. It's like her main focus at that point is like, how's my crew doing? And it's like, yeah, the ship's not in great shape, but how is my crew? Are they in the same shape as the ship, or can they pull through this together?
Yes, for the most part, yes. But you're definitely hearing probably whisper throughout the ship, like just as you know. And it is one of those conversations that stops the moment you kind of show up, and it is mentioning Leora and the actions that they took. Everyone seems to have their opinion about it. Their opinions are pretty unified. And it is not a powder keg, but it is still very risky. Like, any extra stress... Thankfully, the Intrepid has done a good job of tempering it down, but there is still the risk of, per se, a mutiny happening. It's not a high risk, but given recent events, it's not unrealistic to at least put that in the back of your mind as like, that is a potential threat that could happen. Well, low, it is still there.
Yeah. And she's certainly making mental notes along the way. It's like who to touch base with further once they're back on home turf.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kavai, is there anything?
And
continue.
I was just gonna say, and it's like in between, like, yeah, she's also trying to make sure that she's getting rest, and then some may have noticed that she's also being mindful of checking in with sickbay a little more often than some would have connected with earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of, Mira, actually, since she wasn't there when, the entire thing with Jaloran being injured happened, she personally later came in to like understand specifically how she's feeling. And she checked multiple times. She's trying to be as like cautious and careful with that as possible.
Yeah. Is that something you wanted to do a scene about, or?
Up to you. How do I say it? Mira is still shaken a lot. She's a bit better, but she is kind of on edge. But what that kind of results in is her being fully in work mode. So she has to do stuff, or else she doesn't even know what will happen if she doesn't. But with Jaloran, it's like a little bit more personal. She does consider them friends of different rank, but still friends, and she wants to make sure her friend is more or less okay. So I don't know, if you want to make a scene out of it, I would love to. Up to you, though.
Probably wouldn't be much to talk about beyond McCoy making sure, like, it'd probably be 3 people in the scene. It's like, if we wanted to do this properly, it would be McCoy, Jalaran, and Mira. because Mokoi would certainly need to give Mira, since Mira's the CMO, Mira needs updates on everybody's status. And Jaloran's status will have certainly changed.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we'll have amongst your tour of the vessel, the stop in at sickbay is pretty standard for you over the next so many days, Jaloran, just because both senior physicians, and by both senior physicians I mean the only ones that are alive still aboard the Hypatia, have demanded it of you.
Oh yeah. That's totally true.
Ensign McCoy has recently managed to finally clean herself off of dust and debris given the whole event that has happened, and has switched into a uniform that is... You've determined she is in this mind state of, because it's not the typical Starfleet standard issue uniform, it is more just casual, almost civvy wear, but it's probably more or less of
it was clean.
It's clean, but also she probably has the internal monologue of who's going to stop me way out here and who's going to care.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of dress code stuff like that Jaloran has just let slide because we're in no shape to make new uniforms.
Mira doesn't care. She often takes off her, the upper part of her uniform when she's not specifically when she's working. When she's working, she puts on a special, medicine coat. But other than that, she often does that. And who's gonna stop her? She has muscles the size of some people's head. That's
okay. Well, I'm glad to see that you made it down here, Captain. And early, too, so I'm guessing you had either nothing better to do, or we were on your way to somewhere else. Engineering?
Oh. I figured I'd stop along here before I did the proper thing and got some actual food into my belly.
That's a good idea. Mira just kind of whips from around the corner.
Jaloran does her best not to startle.
Did you hear that, Lieutenant? The captain does in fact eat food every now and again.
Shocking, I know.
What? I mean, after we checked and found out that she is fully human, I'm not surprised by anything. I mean, human, noid. Ah, damn it. Whatever. Sorry, I'm not good at connecting jokes together. Anyway, are you feeling well? Is there anything wrong? Can you tell me?
Yeah, you're
and
usually
she's
allergic to
circling
sick
her.
Yeah,
I didn't catch all of...
Yeah, Mira's basically giving you circling you and literally looking you up and down are you okay? Is everything good?
Yeah, Mira did tell Jaloran to check up with with the sick bay every once in a while, but she's also, every time the Jaloran comes, she's also worried. Okay, what happened? Did she feel worse? Is there fatigue? Whatever.
And you can tell that and McCoy may even pick up on this a little bit, but McCoy would know that Jaloran is infamous for avoiding the sickbay. But this time around, she seems to be rather cautious and is actually following advice for once. She seems particularly concerned about something. And she wants to make sure that it's all going well.
Despite my best efforts, Captain, I am not a telepath. And thus it has to be verbalized for me to do anything. For both of us.
Yeah, if there's anything that you're feeling wrong, please tell us. I mean, we probably can't do like a scan and everything, but it's much easier if you just tell.
Well, I do want to make sure that I'm getting a proper nutrients, but I don't know how to adjust given the state of the ship. I am feeding 2, so
Hmm.
Lieutenant, just so you know, Lieutenant Lewis, I was not hiding this. It was for safekeeping alone. She, like, pulls a panel, and somehow, miraculously, this has survived, is a small, like, personalized replicator.
Jaloran actually
Mira-
looks rather impressed. It's like, it's still
Mira
intact.
squints
Oh my
at
gosh.
her. Was this always here?
No. I found it.
Dude, for real, if you... Wait, that's where you were getting all those snacks that you never shared.
Well,
Well, that's just unfair, man.
whatever.
We're
there should-
colleagues!
You look like you can eat twice as much as I can. Anyways,
I can?
you
That's not the
literally
point?
had a fist fight with Kazinthi. I think you do. Captain, use this. This right here has a couple of old, shall we say, I don't want to use the term because in terms of old earthen, it's just so crass, but dietary restrictions, plans that could be beneficial. It's not standard Starfleet issue, so it kind of circumnavigates some of the programming stopgaps.
Everybody knows that this ship has a lot more under its hood than what it appears.
Mm-hmm.
Like us.
But but thank you. Like she starts pulling up some of the different menus and options.
Mm-hmm.
Mira is like over her shoulder, and she is advising on what she should and shouldn't eat at this point with her condition.
Yeah, all right. We'll leave you to it, and we'll do another checkup in 48 hours or so.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But still, if you're feeling even a little bit off, I need you to come here.
If you keep
I'll
saying
be here pronto.
if you keep saying it too much, Lieutenant, it'll act like the opposite pole of a magnet.
Listen, I get it. You know, I'm just worried. It's been a tough time, and it's better safe than sorry, alright?
Yeah, no, we should continue cleaning up sickbay. This place is a mess.
Really? Fine.
I've got it from here. I'll select something tasty and then continue on to the mess hall.
Alright. As that scene concludes in sickbay, Kavai where are you headed or are at presently?
I will have been hovering outside of Leora's door for probably like 20 minutes. And then at some point, I just give up on ringing the bell and then just like park outside and probably just like sitting on the floor, just working on something from a pad.
Okay. What are you working on?
Probably just like novel drafts, but it's just like a lot of like starting the same sentence over and over
Mm-hmm.
and not really getting anywhere on the rest of it.
The first chapter curse.
Yeah, kind of thing. Um, I think as soon as like that half hour mark ticks over, they would eventually get up and physically knock on the door.
Okay. I don't think Leola is resting super well, so I think they probably hear it.
Leora, just like, um, opens the door and sees goodbye and says, "Hello." You can tell Leora has not been sleeping very well. They have bags over their eyes. They're like the thing about Leora is that they usually have their hair done very well. Their hair is a mess. They're not in uniform really. Um, they're just, you know, kind of messed up and they're just like, "Hello, hey, goodbye.
What kind of
What do
like
you need?"
casual outfit are we rocking? Is it like pajamas since you're home or
It's a white tank top and boxers.
Oh, are you free? I can come back.
No, I'm free. Do you need me to come out of my room? Because I'm gonna need like 5 minutes.
No, could I come in, I guess?
Um, uh, yeah, she's trying
If you
to
need a
look like
minute,
normal.
like,
So no, Leora is trying to look normal, and she's like, "No, come in." Her room is not necessarily a mess, but like there's a lot of she keeps some models in here, and you can see the evidence of one or two. You're not entirely sure how many that have been thrown against the wall.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Has
Yeah,
broken more than their fair share of electronics over the years. They're
yeah.
definitely the type to throw a controller, so
Mm-hmm.
they get it.
Yeah, Leora is not the type, so this is
Ooh.
kind of a little. Well, I'm not gonna say how it is for you, but it's not normal for Leora.
Yeah, definitely vibes are off in both directions because Kavai is very, very stiff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So what did you need? Did you okay?
Not really. Everything else is fine. This is not like a work thing. Um, shit. Things are bad. They kind
Yeah.
of like definitely like that forced laugh kind of a smile. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still not getting anything from them, and it's very, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, there's I don't know, man. I'm torn. Fuck, I don't even know why I came in here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You just sit and I think I have an extra chair, and she like grabs an extra chair. Yeah, Leora is sensing that you're off, and it's like trying to like kind of take care of you, even though like she's messed up. She's like trying to see if there's anything she can do to help you right now. So she's just like, all right, here, sit down.
I think,
What's on your
like, definitely trying to overcompensate. Uh, they will park themselves very, very casually. Probably like put their feet up on whatever like desk or thing is nearby. Like, definitely not trying to harm any active projects, but like definitely less ginger than they could be.
All right. So what? So Kavai, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like you're not entirely sure why you're here, so something's wrong. So
Yeah, and that's the problem. I don't know what. I've been trying to figure it out for a while now.
okay.
I'm missing something. I'm just not smart enough for this shit.
You're a very smart person.
It's a lot of talk. I just basically bullshit my way through all this.
Pretty much everyone is.
eh,
Except for maybe
yeah,
the
well.
captain, but these days I'm wondering if she actually does bullshit most of her stuff.
Oh, holy shit! What a poker face! Like,
I know.
I would never gamble with that one. No way, no how.
Yeah.
Just never.
Yeah. Captain's scary.
Terrifying.
Yeah, she's scary. So you don't know
Impressively
why you're
so,
here.
mind
You
you.
don't know what's
Like,
wrong. Yes. So you don't know what's wrong, and you don't know why you're here. Well, I'm glad you came to me to try and help you figure it out.
I kind of like give you a sideways look, as if like almost as if like realizing you're who they're actually speaking with.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Leora sits down on the desk, like next to your feet, like just on the desk. There's like pretty much nothing on there. So she sits on a desk, like casually, just like looking at you. And Leora's short enough that her feet dangle off the desk. They don't touch the ground. Leora's pretty short. So I'm not sure if there's anything I can do to help you. If you don't really know what's wrong, but I'll try.
I don't know. I'm just hearing a lot of talk, and I don't know.
Talk
On one
about
hand,
what?
nobody is happy about any of this.
Oh yeah, that's fairly obvious.
And like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not happy about it either, but at the same time, I get it, and I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. You play devil's advocate one too many times when you have an upbringing like mine, and it kind of fucks with your head a little bit.
So am I the devil in this situation?
No, I mean, maybe.
That's fine. That's fine. Does it have anything to do with what I did to the planet?
I mean,
Or what I did after?
personally, I think you were kind of fucked either way. I don't. all of this is bad. Like, it's just not going the way it's supposed to.
What do you mean it's not going the way it's supposed to? Like, do you have like information or something, or is it just like a feeling, or?
Do I have information?
You have enough information to, well, not meaning it, probably. The frustrations were, well, entirely justified. Perhaps the way they've been talking about it has began igniting a fire that probably should not get lit, and that's the lieutenant that was as the acting like first officer in that situation. Like, obviously people are going to talk, he's going to talk, and he's going to have his own opinions, and people are going to develop their own opinions based upon that. Without having like the full like weight of truly understanding the level of like complexity that was involved.
Gotcha. So there's just a lot of what's the word? Scuttlebutt.
Yeah, scuttlebutt.
They like crinkle their nose a little bit as if it's like
a gross
really
word.
distasteful.
It's a gross word.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's a lot
Gossip?
better in Vulcan. Gossip works. Yeah,
The lieutenant, right? By acting first officer.
yeah, whatever their face is, I don't know. I swear, it's like I can manage some of our people, but there's so names. I can't keep track of them all. So many people. Then she just goes like
causing-
glassy-eyed for a good 30 seconds.
You alright?
Yeah. Sorry, just thinking about a door.
Okay.
Anyway. I missed what you said.
I said okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, they just don't know you.
I don't need them to know me.
Well, you need someone to know you.
I have
And
you guys.
I will meet your eyes. I don't think that's
Oh.
enough. I don't know you.
Leora is meeting your eyes, but she's a little confused. What are you saying, Kavai? Kavai?
I know your name. I know some hobbies.
You don't. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay, what do you want to know?
I want to say like could we put like some sort of mechanics to this?
How so? Because I don't really know. First, I need to know the like intended goal here.
I would like to try to I'm not going to phrase this correctly, but I'm more or less trying to figure out where we stand on things. Like,
Are you basically trying to do an insight check on Leora?
Yeah, I guess. I don't really like that term for this, but it's the closest approximation I can.
Yeah, alright. Well, for you, Kavai, then, it is simply going to be... This is
But,
probably... Insight... Command here, because you are kind of demanding some sort of, like... response, in a way.
Okay.
Insight command, and here is what I will say right now. This will be up to Leora, whether or not they choose to resist the roll a little bit, or just freely give it to you. You're still
Hold,
rolling
please. I'm making a
for
decision. real
the-
quick.
Yeah. Still rolling for the potential of momentum.
Could
and
I
all that.
say if depending on how you want to take it, you can do the exact same check back on me.
Okay. Okay, I have a decision about whether or not Leora is going to resist. Go ahead and roll, and we'll see where that goes.
Do we need to, if we wish to use a value, can that be called before or after a roll?
I'm gonna allow it to be before or after in this case.
Okay. Oh. I got a 1
Okay. So
and a
that,
15. That one doesn't matter.
yeah, okay.
So 2?
Yep, 2. What about Leora here?
Leora, so Leora's been putting up a front for a while, and no one has really had a chance to call her out on it. No one's really tried to call her out on it. Like even like before this mission, Vivica didn't really like their girlfriend didn't really call her out on it. No one's really called her out on it, and technically Kavai's not either. But Kavai is like
Being more
trying
direct
to
about it.
look deeper, be more direct, and trying to look deeper. And like normally, Leora would resist this because Leora does not want people looking into them. But you caught Leora at the right time. She is tired. She is exhausted. She's heard the members of the crew talking about her when they thought she wasn't thought she wasn't there. She's much more sneaky than people think she is. She's heard the crew talking. She's heard the lieutenant who she admired and she thought was a really good officer, and like she kind of depended on him a little bit. Like just say whatever he wanted to say, and like taking command during the thing, not knowing if Jaloran was going to be okay, like doing what she did, like she's not even like naming what she did, and distress and like the ship almost blowing apart and losing all those people. Leora can't put up a front. Leora can't. You see everything. So especially with that crit. So what do you want to know? You see everything. Leora can't even like try right now.
Do you believe that we're doing the right thing here?
Like in Starfleet? Like for clarification for me to give you a good answer, like can you clarify that question a little bit?
Yes. but also just on a kind of like on what we've been asked to do, but also just like kind of on that personal level. What you would get back from Kavai is like above game. I am at. I have 2 values left.
Mm-hmm.
I have not restored the ones that I have burned.
Okay.
And Kavai feels that there is something deeply, deeply wrong with how things are going. Even though we're managing to scrape by, and on paper, it seems we're getting these wins, uncovering stuff, but there's something we're missing, and they want to believe in you, but there's on her end there's still something of a wall there too.
So you see a couple things in Leora. So like for the most recent thing, like for or the orbital strike, Leora thinks she did the right thing. She hates it, and she kind of hates herself for it. She really does. She thinks she did the right thing overall. She does. Um, like I said, she hates herself for it, but like she thinks she did the right thing, not the moral thing, but the right thing. Leora is so with like regards to Starfleet, you've never seen Leora have a shaken faith in Starfleet before. You see it now. It's shaken. It can't not be shaken after something like this. As for like the whole, like we're scraping by wins and everything looks good on paper, but there's something missing. Leora agrees with you on that. Leora, things just seem off, and Leora isn't entirely sure what's going on. But right now, she doesn't have the capacity to think about that. Right now, she is her spirit, I guess, is the best way to say it. Her spirit is the same state that the Hypatia was when it got messed up. Like she's still fighting, she could still go, but like she's being held together by duct tape and a prayer at this point.
Okay.
And you can see like, and you kind of, I would say you kind of realize that Leora, even before Leora, when Leora was Tate, they always had kind of a wall up, and Leora might not have been as obvious about it, but she did, and that wall's not there. Everything's gone. She just cannot put up the no sort of mask, no Mahil mask, no command mask, nothing. She's just, yeah, her soul is laid bare to you right now.
Fascinating. I'm gonna ask that we switch to someone else, but before then, I would like to propose one shenanigan, please.
Okay.
Are you feeling as broken as I am?
Yes.
Well, I can't speak for myself. I think I'm gonna quit when all this is done. But I believe in you. And like they're bright yellow. And I think you can fix this. I don't have it in me, but they kind of tilt their head sideways and lean very, very close, like uncomfortably close.
She's not uncomfortable with it.
If you will allow me to talk to... How many of them are in there?
Leora does not answer, but because Slate forgot how many lives she has. I think it's like 7.
6 or
I think
7, yeah.
6. Yeah, 6, and then she's the 7th. Yeah, those. So including Leora, there's 7.
Okay. If
So she says
you...
7, including me.
Well, they just will hold up their hand. If you would allow me to speak with everyone, maybe I can give you something that will help.
Leora takes your hand by the wrist and puts it up to her face.
The moment you touch her wrist, a mind melt happens.
Okay.
Okay.
The moment
knew this
anyone
was gonna
makes
happen.
physical contact with her, it happens. And they have been holding back so much.
All right.
This is gonna be fun.
However,
It's one of the reasons why Delorean is rather careful mentally around Kavai, because she knows that about Kavai.
Oh yeah, Slade
And then
knows.
there is Mira,
Yeah.
who just keeps grabbing her at any point.
Again, I have to be so clear. It is a miracle that Mira is not dead.
Mira has been so many
times.
times.
There
Yeah,
is-
so many times.
what probably in this very personal moment feels like a long, drawn-out mental conversation between two individuals, and by two individuals, I mean 8.
Good half dozen or so.
But it happens in a snap, but there is an immediate blare over the Hypatia's speakers, and you can hear, Jolene, as you were heading back from engineering, you can actually hear a patched through communique from Captain Orso. Captain Jaloran, you and your crew should get to the bridge. We're detecting a vessel approaching us at a unfathomable speed.
Delorean doesn't even respond. She just drops whatever she's eating and bolts.
Wait, is she still in medbay or?
She went to the mess hall.
she was, and then she was in the mess
Well,
hall,
yeah,
and now she's running through the halls again.
Running through the
I just
halls.
remember she was given snacks, so
Yeah, she selected a snack and like she left while you two were working on cleaning up sickbay, and because she told you she was going to the mess hall to get something to eat.
enough.
Kavai, Leora, and Kana, you also got that notification, because it's just, there's no way to contain it to a certain place, because Orso has no idea of where you are in the Hypatia, so just throughout the whole ship.
I will take one look at the chief engineer and nod, and then head up to the bridge.
Go, you programming cockroach, go away.
That's
I'm
racist.
so stealing that for later.
Leora grabs a uniform pants and uniform jacket and runs and gets dressed and runs.
Wait, I totally missed it. Did Mira get it too?
Yeah, you're in the sickbay. You can come up if
She
you want.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, she
ship-wide.
is gonna. She is gonna. She's missing a bit too many plot relevant scenes, so okay. She is going to like go there. But first, I make sure that everyone that she was attending to is fine, and she's going to quickly go.
Yeah. There is Captain Orso is already on the view screen, and you can see like the gridded space map with the view screen. As cracked as it is right now, you can see a dot that is moving, and the equivalent of it would be like, huh, this thing is moving. Like the fastest recorded like warp speed is like warp 9.999, essentially. That is the most sustainable for a maximum travel. This is
We don't talk about
traveling.
Warp 10.
Yeah. This is traveling at about roughly, I would say, 6 times that speed.
Key.
Before a vessel eventually drops out of warp. It is about half the size of the Hypatia. Looks like it's probably got 2 or 3 decks to a Federation and make for sure. Before you were being hailed, actually.
Jalora does a quick look around to assess who is there and who is not, and nods to whoever is at operations to answer the hail.
That'd be Kana at this moment.
I don't know how quickly Kana can get to the bridge, so...
Well, I was in main engineering, so
It there's like a delay before like stuff. But it's also just because the vessel still needs a little bit of a tune-up. But on the view screen is actually one Lieutenant Commander Alec Caraballo.
Sorry for the jump scare there, everybody. How's it going?
Like, you get a brief, like, the barest moments of, oh my gosh, relief before, like, the instant command poker face comes on. It is good to see you. How exactly did you accomplish that?
My apologies.
Sort
From
of a long
behind
story.
DeLorean, Mira is waving at him. Like, this, like, very big smile waving at him. Sorry, continue.
It's sort of a long story, and maybe one best not told over comms.
Transport or dock in the... Then she turns around to look at kind of... Do we still have, actually, a shuttle bay? Is it
You
still
do
exist?
not. You do not.
we
I
have
was
enough
wondering-
spare parts. We could make a Delta Flyer out of the remaining shuttles, but I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, I'll take whatever transportation option doesn't turn me into hamburger on the way over.
Transporters it is. I'll meet you over there in 5.
Count on it.
And she goes ahead and cuts the comms and makes her way to the transporter room.
Yep. Transporting over eventually is Alec and his acting like first officer, whom you've met before, which is Lieutenant Hera Viren. She looks a little more serious than the last time you encountered her.
Sorry for the poor shape of the ship, but by the looks of your faces... Conference room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is... I'm gonna let you break the news, I think, Commander.
Yeah. Let's lead the way.
She nods, and as they're walking through the hallways, she taps her comm badge. Command team to the conference room.
They'll all make it easy enough. You will see, Alec, the interior of the ship is messed up beyond belief. Like you actually have to go through a couple Jeffries tubes and around a couple of less than linear ways to get to the conference room. This ship has been through hell.
I think on the way, Alec will make a few of his like very sort of like kind of customary sort of like sardonic comments about the whole state of the ship, but like I think it's very clear that he's like going through the motions on this one. Like he's not really like in it.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you know that they still make really good pancakes down in mess hall.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Surprised.
pancakes, my God.
I'm surprised Lieutenant Loris hasn't eaten them all already.
I found
Hey,
some of
that's
the
mean.
spare. Found some of the spare supplies in the back.
The conference room
Yeah.
kind of has to almost be like, it opens up fine, but shutting it, you almost have to like push either side like closed. I'm just gonna, actually, Commander, I'm gonna be in the back corner of this room. Call if you need any additional input, but I think you got it.
If you wouldn't, Harry, if you wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind doing a quick security sweep anyway. I'm sure it's fine, but
I have 2 of these beads left. They're prototypes. All right.
well, do whatever you feel like
That
you
gets
can
an
get away with.
intense look from that draws an intense look from Jalor, and is like, prototypes? What do you have?
He takes out a like round bead that's probably about the size of a large marble, and this bead begins spreading out, and you're getting it's a form of like semi-conscious nanotech, and it presses against the door, and then you see like a small, thin, like neon blue sheet cover the entire room's like walls and windows. That should keep any short-range scanners from peeking in or listening.
Thanks. Well, first of all, it's good to see all of you again. I just wish it was under better circumstances for both of us.
The feeling is mutual.
I think I might just cut the preamble on this one and just get straight to it. My team has uncovered some evidence about Admiral Pyre. It's evidence that's linking them directly to information trading during the Dominion War.
If you don't
What
mind.
what sort of information trading?
Your mission, specifically the one that was dual linked to Operation Twin Sword.
Fucking Twin Sword is what Liora says.
Originally,
As in, it was sabotaged on purpose?
yeah.
It's looking like it, yeah. What's worse, it doesn't really seem like this kind of information trading has stopped, although I can't 100% prove anything just yet, but the pieces are being put together. It's only a matter of time. We're talking any kinds of deals with Romulan, Orion, Cardassian, you name it.
Would Trill terrorists have been on that list? Is what Liora says.
They're not high up there, but We did notice it.
Any ideas of what the possible end game this would all be for? This is, but if what you're suggesting is true, this has been going on for decades. What are they trying to accomplish?
We're not sure. But given what we've looked at, the attack on Utopia Planitia put Starfleet in a very unstable position. And, well, one of the most tempting facets of any sort of position is power. And those with information have quite a lot of it. I don't really think there is much of an endgame other than
It's just as far as we can tell, the best case for the motivation is just securing their own personal position of power.
Alec, I'm going to ask you a very specific question. Did this admiral blow up my ship? And she's not talking about this ship. this is a sort of more Kadon-ish tone of voice.
Right. Is that something that I would know about?
it would be enough. Like, there's enough pieces and evidence given the whole Madrid lockdown attack and all of that, where it's just like the pieces fit a little too perfectly. And Kadon was someone who also did a few, like, quotations, mercy and diplomatic missions, and like high stress diplomatic missions, to where if they went wrong, the diplomacy kind of falls through.
I can't prove anything, but it's highly likely.
She's not.
Something that, again, I don't have a lot of evidence for this, but I have reason to believe that Admiral Pyre is part of a group called Ouroboros. It's more of a gut feeling at this point than anything, but the pieces are there.
Does that sound
That
familiar?
it gets a very physical reaction from Jaloran. She does not like hearing that word at all.
Sounds really evil. Is it just me that sounds
It's not good.
like a horribly evil name?
It became more present during the later, well, I guess whispers in later Dominion War for information trading, spies, espionage, diplomatic sabotage, you name it. Part of the reason some missions in the Dominion War failed so horrifically was because of this group, because they had a vested interest in keeping the conflict going, promoting their political assets or moving pieces on the board.
So the fact that you're here, Alec, means that either you got found out that you're looking into them, or you have a plan.
Oh, we don't have a plan. We just want resources.
Well, we have something that's like a plan. It's just, doesn't have all the bits in the middle that make it work.
Yeah, let me clarify for your first officer. I meant an Alec version of a plan.
I
am
have
familiar
a piece
with a ton of those, yes.
I have information that Admiral Pyre is... Look, it's no accident that I intercepted you this close to Romulan space. I have information that points to Admiral Pyre being somewhere within Romulan territory.
Why the hell is he there?
What does the official channel say?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I feel like there's nothing on the official channel. Am I right about that?
No, the official channel more or less states that, he's operating within like the Soul Sector, which is a 20 by 20 light years square, not 30,000 light years away.
Yeah. As far as I know, there's also no official Starfleet operations out this way either. So even if it was some kind of cover, nothing's
There's
come across my awareness.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason for him to be out here on official capacity as part of Starfleet or the Federation. But supposedly, according to all, he's still in Soul Sector. But you've managed to track him physically. He's actually out here in Romulan space.
We will face the consequences of our actions of how we obtain that information at a later date.
As with many things in intelligence, yes.
I think she only broke 2 intergalactic laws, so I think she's fine.
Only 2 this time? Not bad.
Oh.
And here I thought we were competing.
One.
Who's keeping track?
Yeah, who's keeping track? And I'm winning.
Only by 1.
100% increase.
Anyway, I thought it was important to loop
So
you
we
in
go
on this.
after this admiral. Yeah. So we go after this
Yeah.
admiral. That's what you're saying. In Romulan space,
That's...
in a ship that's fucked up with a crew
Oh no!
that
No!
is.
Let's back up here. We're not taking your ship.
Oh,
You're
good.
taking mine.
Oh, nice.
Wait.
I would love to drive something that fast.
Different question. Are only we going? Because there are like very heavily injured people here. And a lot of people who didn't sign up for this entire operation.
I was going to say, does your ship look bigger on the inside than it does on the outside?
Not quite.
No, but given if it was all of you, Alec and myself, and a couple of other people that we've looped in, we could get by with a crew of 18 or so.
I mean, I'm more worried about how they're gonna, fare without us. It's since really time sensitive, and if we just leave our crew on a busted ship, that's gonna be bad.
Well, don't forget.
And if we take them with
Yeah,
us, they're going to be in the same boat as us, which means they're gonna be breaking a couple laws, right? And
Well,
I'm
don't
not,
forget
like,
we have a
excluding
ship
him.
that's escorting this ship right now, so they won't be alone.
Oh, that was good, I guess.
But I'm also not willing to have all of us go and leave the Hypatia.
No one. You're not leaving me behind this time, Captain. You're not doing that to me again. You're not leaving any of us behind. We all go, or none of us go.
That gets an eyebrow raise from Chaloran.
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't had our
You're
above game. We haven't had our talk yet. So.
I could propose a counteroffer.
I'm listening.
Alex worked with you before, and I've worked with him long enough. If you're willing to trust me, I can make sure your vessel gets home safely.
I looked at Alec. You vouch for her?
I do, but Hera, you put a lot of footwork in on this. You don't want to see it through to the end?
I think Tegan's got it.
Yeah. Yes. I do. I vouch for her.
All right. If you vouch for her, I trust her.
Commander, just
And I
don't
sort of looked at the
get shot this
captain.
time.
Just a little shot, just a little bit.
I won't be there to save you
Again?
this
Let's
time.
treat.
This makes what, the 7th or 8th time?
Again, who's
I think
keeping
he's up
track?
to 10. I think he's up to 10.
I know I'm gonna be there. Especially considering that Jaloran is definitely, I mean, the captain is definitely going. So, if anything, I can help.
Well, then I think you all have a plan. Alec, you can lead them to the to a delightful vessel and I guess make them jealous.
Oh, you're all gonna love this.
There isn't much left of the Hypatia to be jealous of.
She seems like she's got a lot of personality.
She does.
Yes.
She's had a good run.
Personality of a. Okay, I'm lost. Sorry.
That gets an annoyed trill from under the table.
Alright, I guess since I won't be needing these, she takes like a small little pouch out of the side, one of those marbles, and then it looks like two like small bracelets, essentially, like metal clasps. I cannot stress enough, Alec. These are the only ones left. Make them count.
Yeah, I will. Don't look at me like that. I mean, I'll give them to somebody who will make them count.
Good luck, Commander.
Thanks. You too.
With the eventual pushing of the chairs and such, and going into the transporter room, you are transported over to a vessel that is very clean. It is... You are looking at a vessel that is like... You do not recognize this class of vessel. If this is probably a prototype or the second version of it that exists.
Aurelia definitely tests out how far she can slide across the floor.
Way too far. Like, it's one of those sliding across, like running, stopping, and realizing I can't actually stop.
Oh no.
And she seems to be thrilled by that prospect.
Everyone, welcome aboard. This is the Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Yeah, welcome aboard the USS Atlanta, NCC 52000.
I need to know, what does it smell like?
Sterile.
Yeah, kind of.
She may not have the all the bells and whistles. She aren't got the standard array of armaments of Starfleet vessels, but she has an added little bonus of little special sanction of the Defiant cloaking device.
Very nice. So that should be able to get us to slip in and have a look where their missing admiral is at.
Yeah. That said, we're still going to be crossing through Tal Shiar controlled space, and I wouldn't give them a long time before they discover us, so...
What time we
Say
do
what you
have
want
there,
about
we
him.
need to make it count.
Yeah, say what you want about the Tal Shiar. they're pretty good at what they do.
Ruthlessly good.
So, shall we get going? We've got an ALEC plan to take care of.
Lead the way.
For the people who do not know, I am using the USS Protostar stat block for this vessel. This is a Protostar class vessel, which means she is
Nice.
small, but she moves real damn fast.
The kind of vessel that if Leora is flying, it's just going to be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yay.
There is 2
Watch my roll
stations.
today.
There is a younger Trill individual. Probably looks like she actually looks relatively young to be in Starfleet. She looks like she's probably only 19. And then there is a you're sure there's human heritage, but there's also like a mix of some other heritage you can't fully narrow out, but Lyson is probably your guess. And there's a few other enlisted officers in the back that are kind of doing some of the other operation stuff, but the one at the helm is the human, like, Lyson individual. He's taller, takes note of your arrival back here, Alec. Well, that was fast, Commander. Seems like you, didn't want to sit down for small talk?
Ooh, no time. And I'm terrible at it. So,
We're experts at walk and talk.
I see. Well, we have plotted a course. The star charts that we're looking at here give us a mostly direct line. I think the safest option is to take the proto-warp, get in a couple light years into Romulan space, and then cloak from there.
agreed. And as much as possible, I think we should try to keep moving. We'll put ourselves on a tight clock every time we warp. Let's try to make it as difficult for them to pin us down as possible.
Understood. Tegan, why don't you do some your mathematic calibration shit that I don't understand? The young Trill kind of looks up, kind of. Hair is kind of similar to Kana's, though darker, and looks like a spray paint can blew up in her face a little bit. Okay, a little rude, but oh, where's Hera? Is she not coming?
She's taking over, making sure the Hypatia gets back safe.
She's on babysitting duty.
She said, and I quote, sorry, so I quote, they can handle it. So.
Great. Awesome. She's the one that drafted the whatever.
Huh, I see her plan.
All
She's
right.
very smart.
All right. For those uninitiated, you're about to see something very cool here. Her fingers kind of dance across the science station and the con, and then you just watch a star field pass you by at an unfathomable speed. It's not as fast as Slipstream, but when it comes to warp, this is really fast.
Jaloran is definitely rather fascinated. Like she's definitely paying attention to everything that's going on.
Leora is specifically paying attention to the helm controls.
Anna's watching
uh,
the main engineering board and watching how much fuel this ship is using for its speed.
And it doesn't look like it's using any. At least in terms of, like, artificial dilithium, it doesn't look like it's using any of that.
The only downside about all of this is that the warp jumps are usually so short that it hasn't given me enough time to come up with my, the captainy thing, the thing to make it go,
Dropping out proto
You
warp
know,
now, just on cue, just.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. I was experimenting with take us out, but that sounds a little bit like something else. Anyway,
yeah, I get it.
Alright. Activating cloaking device now. The lights switch to more like emergency lighting, and the vessel goes kind of dark. I guess now's the time, Commander, Captain, to come up with any type of plan.
What do we know about what he's doing here? And any ideas of where he's at?
Once again, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not really a lot, right?
Not a ton, but one of the big things that you're getting, Telshio Space tells you a lot right there, whereas, like, probably trading, vulnerable at, like, especially in this current time, vulnerable Federation secrets that gives the Telshio an edge, especially because knowledge is power, and especially when it comes to Romulans, in their current predicament, how they're starting to be scattered everywhere, those that have the most information are going to ascend to the most power at this stage. So,
Right.
making a deal
My
with
guess,
a top level Telstio agent would eventually put them
right,
to, like, fill the gap void that Sealer would have had.
right. My guess is that he's trading, he's brokering some pretty sensitive Federation secrets, but his current, if it were me, I would be likely dealing with more than one operative, trying to play them against each other and trying to get them to engage in some kind of bidding war. At the end of the day, he is still from the Federation, and we haven't exactly made a lot of friends amongst the Tal Shiar. So either way, he's going to be looking to make sure that if he's got something valuable to sell, he's going to milk it for all he can. So I'm willing to bet that that's going to buy us at least a little bit of time to track him down.
Will he probably have protection with him? My guess is yes,
Almost
since
certainly.
he's going to the Tel Shiar.
But since he's here out without Federation sanction, he would keep whatever protection he has small. Professional, but small.
And
Yeah.
The less notice he can bring to himself, the better.
I'm
Like
not
the
exactly
mercenary
the
hires.
detective type, but I have been on a few sort of things like this. Someone trying to sell something valuable, be it some sort of new weapon or, sometimes a fighter. Are we talking about an auction? Because what you're saying sounds exactly like that. Just
I doubt it's
if
going to be
you,
that public. It'll likely
I mean,
it's
not.
going to be contacting each party individually and subtly implying that he's got other buyers on the hook. Maybe even name dropping them if they're rivals.
So, how many buyers are we talking?
Could be 2, could be 2 dozen. I don't know exactly.
Exactly. This is what I was thinking. It really reminds me of just a very selected amount of people being contacted, and then all of them kind of gather together and, do the bidding thing. It's kind of like I saw it happen, but I'm not like,
Just
the
so
professional here.
this is Tegan speaking, and she's like looking through and like you're watching her do like a statistics and probability calculation in her head. Are you potentially putting forth that we add ourselves somehow into the auction?
Oh, that would be not smart. I mean, they would definitely recognize us.
Not necessarily.
Unless we use an alias.
We could use an alias, and we are using
Vile put their
Romulan.
hand up. Would I happen to know my parents, like, any of the aliases that they use?
Oh yeah.
I just have the strangest sense of deja vu here. I think I could put something together. If we wanted to bid.
Mira looks at Kawai really worried. Is that related to... Are you gonna be okay with that?
Oh, I'm thinking about something else at the same time here. Ever since that snake thing got brought up, they kind of wave their hand dismissively. But, I don't know, this whole thing feels like a trap. But whatever.
I mean, that's the way to deal with Romulan Telshia. If it feels like a trap, or even if it doesn't feel like a trap, it's probably a trap.
Which is maybe why it's better that we set up our own, too. I think the less we involve the Tal Shiar in this at all, the better it'll turn out for all of us.
Have, like, a picture of this person?
Yeah, you actually would have... Yeah, you've all been at least in room reference to Admiral Pyre. You don't have the full download of him once being Jaloran's handler, but in terms of like who this person looks like, the most approximate person to look like is a Ben Kingsley.
Nice.
Yet another person I gotta look up.
Okay.
I just imagine his picture on like a giant screen in front of us, just like twirling around.
So, I'm feeling the pieces of a plan coming together. Kawai can put together an alias for us to enter into the bidding for this whatever information he's got. All we need is to find a way to contact him, and then and request an in-person meeting. We find a location suitable for the job. Then we
Dope his ass.
we spring the trap and we take him in, is what I was gonna say, but sure, yes, Kawai.
He's gonna know something's up when we request a in-person meeting. If this man got to his position, and even semi-legitimately, he's gonna know.
Does he look like someone that my parents might have worked with before?
Hard to say completely, but given what you're being told now, it's kind of a coin flip at this point. Like,
okay, I will have narrowed it down to like probably 2 aliases then. And it's just a gamble of which one is the one that is the correct angle. Should have paid more attention.
While we get a puppet alias set up to put in for a bid, why don't we also look into how exactly is he trying to set up this auction? Is it all being private through messages? Like a virtual auction? Is he meeting with any of the clients, or is he just doing it through encrypted, no no visuals, probably masked voicing if there's a voice call at all? Like, let's get some more intel on what is the foundation of this at all.
Would it be possible to tap into like I mean, there's got to be like some Romulan communication relays somewhere nearby, right?
Oh yeah, and quite a few of them these days are not being monitored because Romulan evacuation.
I feel like
Kana can help with that because of her expertise in certain areas.
Yeah, I think if we could get to one of the nearby Romulan communication relays, we can tap in and see what we can siphon out of their net.
There's one commander. It looks like half a light year away.
Well then, I'd say, I'd take us there.
Still needs work, but yeah.
Okay, well,
Definitely.
I'm workshopping here. Okay, I'm just some constructive criticism, please.
Maybe
More
It's
a
a
little more
single word
pizzazz.
person, double word.
Ooh, maybe you can use like, I don't know, a sort of word. Just blah blah blah, blah. Like this.
I know.
You know,
Maybe not like that.
I do like her idea. It will make me laugh every time, Commander.
All right, let's just go. I'm regretting this already. Let's get out of here.
Let's do this.
So, out of character, I can help with getting information because I have well informed, which lets me spend a threat to answer 2 questions.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I think one
Perhaps
question.
once we get there,
Yeah.
once we get there, you work with Kano to tap into that well-informed.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I can guarantee us 2 questions.
Yeah.
Which
easy
is
enough.
with a threat spend.
It is quite literally half a light year is a little too far for full impulse, but it is decent for a quite literal 3-second warp jump. It is hard not to feel a little envious of Alex's vessel because it kicks up the engine and warps immediately and decelerates just as quickly and smoothly.
I don't like it. Makes me crazy.
Oh, the insanity I could do with this ship.
I think specifically, I'm going to direct Tegan very specifically to get us just to the edge of impulse range, cloak immediately, and then take us in sort of a circuitous route to get there. No straight lines here.
Yeah. We
do nothing straight on this channel.
Oh my god.
But
we're all kinds of crooked.
There is, as he does that, she also does a quick short range scan, and the face goes a little pale. Commander, that's going to be hard.
Would you care to elaborate?
I cannot see them specifically. There's small sensor readings. They're too large to be any type of debris, but they're too small to be vessels. And they are giving off a type of radiation. I think we're dealing with pulsar mines.
And I was just starting to think that this plan was working a little too well.
Yeah.
Was the plan even set in
I
motion
personally
at
love
this
flying
point?
around pulsar mines.
What is wrong with them?
Tegan. You really think that I was the craziest one of the bunch?
Recent missions have suggested yes, but the way you're wording this means
Oh
I
no,
should be
Alec's the
about
sane one. Alec is the sane one. No, Alec is
Yeah.
like the chill person of our group. We
I
lost our
wouldn't go
chill
that
when he
far.
left.
Alec hasn't blown up a ship of people yet, so
Alec hasn't yet fist fighted 5 people like at once, all alone, while wounded.
You did that? Whatever.
Kazinti, yes.
Isn't
That whatever.
Mirror leans in. That's how I got this cool medal.
I did hear a little bit of conversation. Leora, was it? I cannot fly through this. I know my abilities, but I've heard through a few insane stories that I kind of don't believe, but kind of have to now. That
gets a hefty sigh from Jaloran, and then she just gestures at Leora to take the helm.
In my
Jesus,
defense, I was
take the
ordered to do most
wheel.
of the. In my defense, I was ordered to do most of those.
We're the one who
Commander.
threaded the ship
Keyword
into
most.
the wings of a Romulan warbird. I'm sure you can handle a few mines.
Well, Commander, you have the con.
All right, so Liar just looks at the controls and just like goes, "This is gonna be fun."
Oh my
Don't make me
god.
regret this.
alright, so
Then Kana will slip into the communications seat and begin prepping for a very important hack of her life, apparently.
yeah, it is going to be that for sure.
Can I give you an assist?
Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna tell you what the role is in a second, because it's a little crazy.
Oh no.
Because you have the barest inkling of where this is at. First things first. The roll that Leora is going to have to make here this is a daring con roll, because who is insane enough to do this? In addition to that, this
Me.
is going to be, and we're going to bump the difficulty a little differently here. This is a difficulty 6. With a 5-point threat spend.
Ooh, thank God this isn't control. But yeah,
Dealt with worse.
yeah, okay.
Okay, can I
All right,
can I
let's
real
go through
quick
my
burn?
checklist.
I would like to burn a determination if that's cool here.
Okay?
I'm going to use the value. I have my friends' backs and they have mine.
Okay.
Can I? Oh, actually, hold on. Let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. I believe.
I don't know if you can give me access.
No, I can help. I can help because I have the Spirit of Discovery talent. I can spend a determination to add 3 points to the group momentum pool.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm gonna need those. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
All right, so I am immediately spending all 3 of them for 2 extra die.
Hell yeah.
And someone.
All right, so now through.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it'll be a daring con, difficulty 6, 5-point threat spend. In addition to that, someone, because it's your vessel, Alec, I think I'm gonna have you roll for the ship here, and it will be this is engines and con, which is you just have to hit a 14 or under.
Is this 1 die or 2 on
is
the
1
ship
die.
assist? 1 die, okay. And sorry, you said 14?
14 or less, yeah.
Okay. Whoops.
And Kavai wanted to help.
Okay, Kai.
Or anybody who's better at anything. But someone should help.
Um,
My ass is totally useless here, so I'm just gonna be cheering you on, I guess.
yeah, and it's
Got
like
nothing for the
Jaloran basically gave a directive, so she could be helping in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. So that would be what, command presence?
I'm
Yes.
I'm gonna burn my value. What do we call it? High risk, high reward.
Yep.
Because I think that counts here. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard me, but nothing from the ship.
Nothing from the ship. Got it. This is a 5-point threat spend. Was it?
Oh, 5 point? I heard 3. Okay.
This is 5.
So 5 point. That would mean that that we're talking complication on
15.
what's the range? Oh shit. Okay. Well, this was a 16.
Okay, we'll revisit that in a second.
So just,
Cool,
yeah,
great,
just
fantastic.
right into that. Okay, thanks. Welcome back, Lucas.
Hey.
So Joe,
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Joe, before I tell you my role, quick question.
Yes.
You said it was a 5 point, not a 6 point, correct?
The difficulty
Yes.
was 6. The threat range.
Threat spend is
5.
5.
5. Okay, cool. Whew.
Don't
Liara,
do that to
you
me.
maybe have a heart attack for a second. Okay, so let's see here. I got 2 from my determination.
Okay.
I got 2 from a crit. It's a 1, and 3 more, so that's 7.
7.
Wow.
And
Okay.
a crit from Jaloran.
Wow.
So 9.
Y'all are terrifying and awesome.
Okay.
So so we gained back those 3 momentum that we spent.
Yes, but in addition to that,
We also have a complication.
yes, there is a complication.
You're welcome.
The complication comes from
Is there anything we can do to make that not happen?
so you are able to maneuver pretty well. The complication actually happens sort of towards the end more than anything. As the thrusters and stuff, this ship's response time is insane. Like, it's moving faster than a vessel that has bioneural gel packs. Like, it's responding way faster. And that's kind of where the complication comes from. You're not used to a vessel responding this fast.
But I'm also me.
Yes. Which means the starboard nacelle does brush up against one of the, like, pulsar mines, but it is done in such a way to where it doesn't seem like it detonates, but it did scrape off, like, a fair portion of that nacelle's, like, upper portion. Like, the metal plating and stuff is just in space now.
Well, I hope
I'm
that was
sorry, we
important.
scratched it.
You
We
know,
ruin everything we touch.
In my
Alas,
defense,
I was-
I
I've
want to
never
make a.
flown
I want
this.
to make a gag so badly.
In my defense,
Pretty
I've never
sure.
flown a ship this sensitive before. I have to work on it a little bit.
I was pretty sure I
Oh, I
asked
want to make a
Leora
dirty
to
joke
pilot the
so
ship.
badly.
I was pretty sure I asked Leora to pilot the ship and not Kadan.
Oh no, if Kadan were here, we'd be
Ew.
dead. Like, no joke, I statted out Kadan. Kadan has, like, no piloting. Kadan can't pilot.
You were able to get via tractor beam and into the cargo hold the relay, like the old relay,
Mhm.
which is about about half the size of a shuttle pod. It's not huge. And as long as you kind of stay, hovering in this area, it's not going to look out of place.
Well, believe it or not, that was the easy part.
Let's see what we
Believe
can
you.
pull out of that relay.
Indeed.
All right. We will revisit that in a moment or two. We're gonna take a 5 here really quick, just to stand up, stretch, hydrate, all of that. But we will be right back. And just again, as a precursor, this one might just run just a smidgen longer, not by much, but just a little bit longer. But we will be right back. Welcome back. This is when last we left off, there was a little bit of a plan and also some corruption that had been uncovered by one Lieutenant Commander Alec Caraballo and his particular team, as maneuvering through a pulsar mine, a cloaked pulsar minefield, mind you. You were able to get one of the old relay, well, not even old, just not occupied or monitored Romulan communication relays in the cargo hold. Just for people who are unaware, the Protostar class is a 3-deck ship. It has the bridge, it kind of has like the officer area, and then it has engineering / cargo, basically. Within the cargo hold here. But again, like half the size of a shuttle pod, and a make that is intricately more designed than anything like standard Starfleet produces. I believe it was Leora and Kana down here?
Yes.
Is it an older style satellite kind of thing? As in old data rods and stuff that we'll have to deal with?
No, this is more New Age.
Oh, thank goodness.
So, how do you wish to go about this, Kana and Leora? Because that kind of determines how well this goes or how badly you mess this up.
Well, technically, I think Liara is here to assist, but
Yeah, you can ask 2
technically,
questions
I
automatically.
can ask 2 questions from my ability once I give you a threat. Which take your threat now, Joe.
Perfect.
Okay. You need it after you're trying to kill me again. And that's so. I think like we can ask my 2 questions now or later, but I think Liara's just kind of gonna follow Kana's lead on this a little bit.
Well, first things first, she's going to not try and use the ship's main systems to try and hack into this thing, because there might be countermeasures against that. And so she's going to use like a standalone data pad to access the data storage on this thing.
Okay.
And she's going to do a perimeter sweep around this satellite to make sure there's no like internal self-destruct mechanism should we fail a tripwire or something.
Okay. Easy enough because you're looking for it. Yeah. There's no safe way to remove it, but there is indeed a like a quotations espionage fail safe. Like if you don't do this right, it probably just flat out explodes in like 30 seconds.
I will make sure to inform the captain and commander of this so that they can have a contingency plan in place. So, Captain, it appears that if I do this wrong, it will explode in 30 seconds.
I hope you can run fast.
So I will look for a data port to plug in the data pad.
All right. This is going to be, this is daring science, for sure, because you're doing something that is arguably not smart. This is daring science. This is going to be a difficulty of 3.
All right, and we
What's
have
the role for Leora?
Hmm?
If Leora is assisting, what is Leora's role? I would say before you answer, I'm sorry. I would say like Leora's assisting because Leora's got very steady hands. Very good most control over their fingers
Okay,
and stuff.
well then that would
and,
be
like,
one die
everything.
to add, but I would say then in that case, let's do control engineering for you.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going to perhaps use a value.
Okay.
Everything can be analyzed.
All
I
right.
think would work here.
Yep.
And I have 2 focuses that will apply here: computers and hacking.
Yeah, both would apply.
All right. So we have 3 momentum, right?
Yep.
Did you say what the difficulty was?
3.
3. Okay. So would it be okay if I used all 3 to give myself 4 die?
Why would you in this case?
Next 2. I'll just use
'Cause
one.
you start with 2 die.
Yeah, and I have 2 successes
You
already
start
from
with
my.
2 die.
Someone could assist, right?
I'm assisting you.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So there's
Okay. Then I'll get to
Value.
use 1 momentum to get 1 die.
All right, so you're rolling 3 dice then.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Angrily. So I'm going to take a picture of this.
Oh God.
Please don't tell me you rolled 3 20s. Vance?
That would be very unlikely.
I'm ready for
It's
the
Vance.
Give me a second.
Your TM.
Okay. Then just for Leora, then how's the control engineering roll?
I got a 1 and 2 20s.
Oh dare! How dare!
That's 4 successes from Kana and then 1 success for me because even though my target number was 11, I got an 8.
Okay.
So
I, for
now
one, accept our
enact
new
your
Romulan
enact your
overlords.
shit.
I'm going to vomit.
So
It's the start to
God
break.
damn it, Vance.
here's
Why?
the thing that you can make this decision right now, Kana. No one else can make this decision for you because this is about to happen so fast. You were very careful. You definitely circumnavigated a whole bunch of like fail safes and stuff like that. The problem is that Romulan tech, much like any espionage tech, resets itself. And you have to reset it. Like, you have to basically hack into it again. And
Should have let Jaloran do this.
yeah. But this is where you get to make the decision. You have all the ability to tap into their relay network just not from this pad or this relay station anymore. The only way you are going to be able to do this right now is you are going to have to patch it through some sort of auxiliary communications device that can handle widespread subspace network, or or you can cut your losses and just get rid of this thing entirely. But in addition to that, basically, you can look through these relays via the ship, or you kind of lose out on it.
I will have it patched through the ship. And did I activate the self-destruct?
Oh yeah, it's going off right now.
And then I will send a panic call to the bridge that I tripped something. It's gonna go.
What does she mean it's gonna go?
Jaloran just bolts for the
Liara
nearest
grabs
console.
Kana and starts running. Liara grabs Kana as fast as she can possibly move, which is pretty fast.
Jolene, you go for the controls here.
She's still up on the bridge, so she's gonna guess. Well, she's gonna do a quick check that Kana routed the relay through the ship in order to get whatever info they've got. So she's basically gonna take over where Kana left off and hack the darn thing, and basically shut down the self-destruct and see what we can get off of it.
Okay. Here is what I am going to say about that. Because of the nature of the wild complication that is happening here.
Yeah.
2, my lord.
Wow.
You made that reference.
I cannot believe it. How dare you?
I did.
Oh my god. Anyways, okay, with those 2 complications, here is what I am going to say for Jaloran here. You get one of these 2 things. You will not get both of them. Or you can get both of them, but at the expense of internal damage to this vessel. Because you are about to have... Because by the time Kana has voiced this up, the time you have taken action and confirmed things, there are about 15 seconds left here.
She's done more and less.
What information do you want to, like, pull specifically?
Specifically, like, what the mission is like anything about the auctions, like any hint, like chatter or anything of that sort, like whatever is on the down low about this auction. Like if there's anything at all.
Okay. One, information you are getting where the auction, like, relay is happening from, like the outwards communication. You're getting a general sense of where it is. It's actually between, it is actually on one of Romulus's moons, probably like an outpost or something like there. And also you get a number of interested parties, 18. After that, you kind of have to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Where do you want it to, like, disappear to? Because you don't have you can't afford to be that picky where it goes? Like, I assume transport it out of the ship, but...
Yeah, she's gonna, like, program a, like, really complicated formula into the ship and tell it to transport, and it's basically going to send it into the middle of a moon. Or, like, a nearby asteroid or whatever.
Right.
It's like, she's not thinking about where she's sending it, she's just getting it off the ship.
Okay. Then I am going to, because I want to know how far and how fast you can move this thing here, Shalom. This is actually going to be a... No, this is daring engineering with a difficulty of 4.
Whew.
Sorry, getting quick notes here.
Those are not notes.
I was trying to write down what Joe said about the auction. So, for focuses, she's got linguistics, computers, and composure.
I think composure is kind of the most important one here.
Right. Engineering. I use it so rarely, I can never remember what this talent does. Okay, I believe I can pull on computer expertise, which gives me an extra die. Because she's working with the computer to send the relay somewhere else.
Yep.
So that gives me 3 die. Focuses.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at daring engineering. You're probably fine.
I gotta hit 11 or under. So
Joe, don't you dare.
It's fine.
I don't think any of my values work here.
No, not really.
Mm-mm. Two crits and a success.
Ooh, ooh.
God damn.
You, how close was one to being a
That's
12?
5.
11.
Oh my god.
There was one that was 11.
Okay. You were able to do so. And you were able to get
I had a 301 and 11.
a few. I would say you were able to get it, a couple kilometers away from this ship. But off in the distance, you could definitely see it, an orange-white flash, and then a chain of, 2-3 dozen, blue electric white flashes that follow afterward before it mellows out.
Whoops. The other mines.
Captain,
She
Commander,
just...
maybe we shouldn't stay here anymore?
I think we have our heading, and I just point towards where the explosions just stopped.
Quick thing before we do
I
anything
didn't
else.
fry the ship, at least.
You took... Yeah. You took the momentum, the threat for my 2 questions, right, Joe?
Yes.
So we're doing... So do you guys want to brainstorm my 2 questions real quick? Because my questions was Sorry, go ahead.
Because among the information that Jalorn was able to pull is they're doing it on a Romulan moon, an outpost on a moon, and 18 interested parties. So what would we want to pull in addition to that?
Do we have specific information? Do we have specific information on the parties, or do we just know it's 18 parties?
I would love the names of those people for sure.
Yeah, names.
So I'm not going to come up with 18 names on the spot.
What?
If there are any significant parties that we would recognize, I suppose.
Okay.
Was she at least able to grab a list
And a funny name.
and not just a number?
Yeah, you were able to grab a list, some of which whom you've never heard of before, but you're guessing because of like power struggles, they're trying to make a name for themselves essentially. So kind of looking through a couple of them, you're like, okay, you're not really a threat because I don't know who you are, and thus probably you're not that important or impressive. Um, there is one Commander Rel, who he seems to be, was not like the direct rival to CeeLo when it came to like Telshia operatives, but was up there. Like in terms of like danger, if CeeLo was number one, he was probably in the top 5.
Is there anyone Leora would specifically recognize?
No, not really.
I'm wondering. I don't know. This is me sort of like just speculating because have we first of all have we dipped into the questions yet or not yet?
Not specifically, no.
Okay, so then before we actually like get to those questions, I'm wondering, sort of speculating here, like the plan of sort of falsifying an alias to try to like lure this person seem like as Leora pointed out is a pretty risky thing, especially considering that this person would likely be on high alert and dealing with Tal Shiar especially.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, I guess I'm wondering, would it make more sense and would it be possible to take some of the names on the list that we know are in the running and falsify like comms, like somebody who's like not necessarily like gonna draw a lot of attention, like the people in the top of the running, but somebody who wouldn't raise a lot of alarms if suddenly they're like, you know what, we will we accept your offer, and does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, like just kind of take over, like use them as the alias.
Exactly. Use somebody who's already in the running, but who maybe like wasn't in the top of the running for the bidding,
Like
but
someone
who
who
wouldn't
is
raise
like
a lot of.
someone who's like statistically at some point be like, yeah, I don't want to mess with these people. I think I'm out.
Right, but then
Yeah,
who also wouldn't raise, is high enough up there that wouldn't raise a lot of suspicion if suddenly they're
Middle
like,
of
you know
the
what,
pack.
actually, like we'll accept, like.
Mhm.
Is that
changed our
does
mind.
that is that crazy, or is that like, does that make sense as like a viable thing?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's probably better than like because one of the things Jalaran probably would have hoped to pull is like, yeah, location, but also timing. Because like if trying to introduce somebody new and it's already like midway through, that
Right.
would raise eyebrows.
Absolutely.
But hijacking somebody that's already part of it, like using their message ID would work out better. And delay detection of, oh, this is somebody else.
And also, if we are going to go in person, do we have any of those? I know they would be old tech by now, but those holographic skins that they had in Discovery for Section 31.
Oh,
I think.
oh no, they don't have those. Alec has a whole bunch of armory of whole bunch of toys specifically for this mission.
He raided the toy box before he came out. What are you talking about? He's like Agent Bond with the lab. It's like, okay, you're going on this mission. We have all kinds of stuff for you to test out. Here's our things.
A gun. Especially for you. It kills people.
Yeah.
No hidden meaning. It's just a gun.
Here's a gun, and if you press this button, it can also be a gun.
The actually for you, Lucas, the two like metal like bracelets that handed off are in fact what she has dubbed them as chameleon sheen, which is essentially just program a. It takes the most generic facets of any type of species and then can be minorly altered and just worn like as almost like a holographic like disguise, almost similar to like the whole thing in Scope, but a little different.
So with a press of a button, you could become regular guy TM of any species.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
Regular guy TM.
And you have two of those.
I mean,
Cool. That's good to know.
Oh, I've never wanted to steal something more in my life.
I think by this time,
My first thought was don't send Kana
No,
with one of
stop,
those.
don't do it. Anyway.
and by this
Don't
time,
do it.
Kana
You
has
can
returned to the
reward.
bridge, and it's kind of has that air of someone who's embarrassed that they've failed. They've succeeded, but failed at a task at the same time.
I just sort of we'll look at Kana as she comes back and just be like, better luck next time. It's harder to destroy this ship than you'd think, you know.
I was more worried about our bodies.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be a source of concern. Yeah, yeah.
Believe that was only one question that was asked. There were two.
Yeah. Like, I guess like what Jaloran was saying about like timing. Like, is it happening right now? Like, when is when is it like how much time do we have to get there and stuff? Like, I know this
Yeah,
is a
what
super
sort
fast
of-
ship, but still,
What's the
sort of
itinerary?
time-
When,
time
where?
frame are
Yeah.
we dealing?
Yeah, what's the
Yeah,
timeline we're dealing with?
itinerary, so-
Should we
Admiral
bring
Pyre,
cupcakes?
like Admiral Pyre is obviously a high rank. He's a 4-star admiral, so he will be missed pretty fast if he's not quick. Given this time space and stuff that has happened, you're guessing he has maybe another day before like travel to here and then back becomes like the space is too suspicious, if you know what I mean. Like he's been gone too long. So at the longest, probably like 24 hours, at the shortest 12, at the bare minimum it could be over in as little as 6. So there's no like 100% definitive time frame, but you know the maximum time frame you have is 24 hours.
So at this point, Jalon would recommend like at least heading in that direction, and while we're on our way there, trying to figure out who we can hijack and what sort of message we want to put together to try to draw him out, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's not hard to really pick some of the like candidates because some of them, are commanding like small scout vessels, and you're like, a little too small for that. But you do actually find one that is like just reading the writing on the wall and listening in. It seems like they're about to back out. Is a is a smaller Romulan bird of prey that is interested, kind of waffling back and forth on it, but seems to be backing out. But they're not in the upper half of the most likely, but they're pretty close.
So, approximately how difficult would it be to hijack their messages, their communications, for this purpose?
You already tapped into the relay, so not terribly.
Okay.
As
Because
long
I
as you're not
I do.
super obvious that hey, we're super.
Hello, I am regular Romulan friend.
Yeah.
I am here to buy some weapons, please. I will take one weapons, please. So, because I Alec does have a focus in subspace communications. If that, I feel like that. I don't know exactly what role it would be, but
This is daring security almost. Daring security because you're kind of trying to lie a little bit in a hostile environment.
Okay.
Probably a difficulty of 3.
So, do we want to get specific about exactly what we're saying here?
I think first step would be getting a look at the messages back and forth to get a feel for how
Sure.
how our person communicates in order to spoof what he's saying.
Okay, so should I make the roll first then?
Yeah, let's make the roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any momentum for me to yoink an extra die?
Yes.
We should, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, Jaloran just blasted that difficulty out of the water.
Cool. Then I will. I would like to do that, and I think, and yeah, I have my focus in subspace communications. This is almost my best combination roll here. So
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna add it a
Oh,
little
don't
bit
say
more
that.
interesting here. I am gonna spend 4 points of threat.
I just
dope.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want assistance? Because I have a focus in infiltration.
Ooh, that. Yeah, actually, I'll take the help.
All right.
Yeah.
So what would that?
This is daring security for you too.
Oh, that's fine for me.
Ooh, wait. Do we have another point of momentum that I can spend?
We have at
Yes.
least 2.
Because if I do that, then we could use collaboration security, and you could use my security.
Cool. What is your security?
My security is 5.
Cool. All right. So my daring is 12, so that's a 17 I have to do. But yeah.
Okay, let's go. So, question, Joe, where does hitting the target on the nose stand? Is that a success?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, then
I apologize.
I got 3 successes.
I got
No crits,
9,
3
so I'm
successes.
good. So that's 4 successes.
All right. And just to make sure,
Then were any of those successes your discipline number?
No,
Or,
that's why I
since
say
you-
no crits. No crits.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, it was close. It was a 6, but yeah. Yeah.
All right. With that, you were able to get some communication patterns. They're definitely all encrypted because why wouldn't they be? But you're getting the conversation to be pretty just standard official fare more than anything. It kind of they don't have time. More specifically, Admiral Pyre doesn't seem to have the time for long-term, espionage language, just because he doesn't have the time for it.
Okay.
So very short, to the point, but still
Boring.
like still like coded language to ensure that
It's like the definition of if you know, you know.
yeah.
Cool. And so at the point where we're catching their communications right now, this group that we're hijacking is basically like, just for my own clarification, they're like teetering on the edge of backing out.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Then I think just keeping it short and simple and just saying something to the effect of after a short consideration, we've decided to accept your offer.
There is a long, uncomfortable pause between that outgoing message and the one that, like, realistically, it's probably only like a minute, but you are quite literally like behind enemy lines, quotation mark.
Oh, it feels like hours and I'm sweating. I'm sweating through my uniform.
Before you are given some particular state vectors to meet. Followed by a quick, as cordial as it can be, like saying, like, I hope this is the beginning of a fruitful relationship, basically. Finally, when that message comes through, like, your specific team, Alec, like, just exhales. That felt like forever, an eternity, truly.
Those acting lessons really paid off, Alec.
Yeah. Well, I specialized in Romulan impersonation. You just gotta scowl a lot, be extremely just ice cold, and just kind of generally be awful.
Just be careful it doesn't turn on the wrong person.
I will stare at that.
Yeah, literally
Like,
between the young girl Tegan is looking between Alec, Leora, and Jaloran, like looking, and there is like definitely the wheel cogs in her brain going like, what the fuck what were these last 10 seconds? What just happened? And I think that they briefly meet your eyes goodbye, like same hat of like, what just happened?
I will then immediately just lean over and be like, I feel like we shouldn't have heard that. It's like hearing your parents talk about, like,
No,
like, and they
stop,
just shake
stop,
their head and walk off.
Stop.
Just like, no.
Mirror kind of shrugs. I mean, as long as he doesn't talk like that in bed, I guess.
Tegan just leaves station, just walks out of the bridge like, nope, I'm out.
I flee with them.
Aurelia just suddenly comes careening across the bridge, just trilling in glee with this hyper.
Still too clean. Into the control panel.
He was like, "What's up with that? I wonder."
Skitty kitties.
She's having the time of her life right now. She's just sliding all over the place.
But yes, you were eventually given state vectors and then a, the declaration of meet within, 1 hour at this location. And it looks to be, again, like one of those old lunar Romulan listening posts. It's not big, but it's not by any means a small compound either. Like, in its full operation, it would have had 100 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know where and when. Now we gotta figure out how.
And what we do when we get there.
Well,
That's what I meant.
yeah.
Mira was a little disappointed her joke wasn't understood.
I think the most important thing that we can do is make sure that because the evidence that I have right now isn't enough to do anything with. Most of it is held together by educated guesswork. We need something concrete that will take this guy
wouldn't it
down.
be concrete enough if the guy just comes there with the thing? You know?
Well,
We're just gonna
yes, but
film
we
it.
need something. We need something that is absolutely irrefutable. It can't just be our word against his.
We can film it. I'm sorry, I'm not getting the problem with filming it. Is Romulan the one party consent state or two party consent state? Okay, that was see, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm freaking out. It's a little bit too early for me.
You good?
But yeah, Mira's actually asking if like, why don't we just film him committing this crime, and that's going to be the proof.
I mean, if he that that might be helpful, but if he has the information with him, we can get the information and proof that
We also need
is, and we have
Yeah.
the communications.
Exactly.
We
I
need
think
s-
we need
we
to
need to
compile
s-
all of this.
Yeah, and we need some way to show that like we need to be able to counter that it wasn't planted. It originated from him so that he can't say, "Well, you
Right.
put it on my thing."
We need to be able to establish intent to sell this information. Like beyond a
And
shadow of a doubt.
Also, Also, we want to have also like with the information he's probably selling. Like none of us have the rank to access that. So yeah.
Jaloran has temporary access.
Oh, okay.
Jaloran has something called provisional access under extenuative circumstance.
Which hasn't been deactivated yet.
It has not. But in addition to that, this, just so you know, Jaloran, this, because of how sensitive this is, if this goes even a little bit sideways, at the most optimistic outcome is Madrid gets shut down. In the most damning sense, there is demotion, stripped of rank, and penal colonies. Like, nothing can go wrong here for the most part, or the backlash is explosive.
Do you share that information?
She does. Because she wants to get across how serious this is. But she also adds in a lighthearted one, like, well, I just blew up a ship of 117 people, so I'm not sure how much worse could come down on my head.
I'll just sort of look at Jaloran and go, good pep talk, Captain. Very, very inspiring stuff.
Well, the human rights and kind of doing like their own stations, like, well, now we know where you get it from, Commander.
And Jaloran just looks at him and beams in pride.
We can't get any other proof other than the video that we might get, or just a whole on confession, where he specifically says, I am going to sell this thing, right? Or what else do we
I
have?
mean, that would be great. We could try to skim some of the rest of the info that we pulled, but it would take some time to hack the communications of the rest of the bidders.
Yeah, I
Here is
mean,
the problem. Knowing how these things go, when the exchange itself happens, they don't usually, talk a lot. So it's a difficult situation to get him to actually say anything.
we'd have to have someone be able to put him off kilter, basically. I don't know how we can manipulate any Romulans into doing that specific thing.
I have a I have a really bad idea.
Alec, tell us the idea.
Captain, how deep does this beef between the two of you go on his end?
Pretty deep.
Deep enough that
If I suddenly show up, he's thrown off.
deep enough that a Romulan group who was here just about to back out suddenly shows up to the table accepting the offer. It might not raise any suspicions if the thing that they bring to the table is the head of a rival. In this case, you.
Huh.
Why
One thing that's
why would they
incredibly
be bringing
suspicious. On the other, that's kind of
why
really
would they be
genius.
bringing Jaloran to this when? Oh, I see. Never mind.
They may not have had the wherewithal before to accept the offer on the table, but maybe we spin this as they found something else that he might want that they're bringing to the table instead.
And one of us could use those. Some of us could use those bracelets to be the Romulans
Yeah.
and bring Jaloran
Like I
to
said,
him.
terrible idea, but
Wait, Captain, does he even hate you so much to want you dead?
He's the one who sabotaged my mission.
Fair enough, I guess he does want you dead.
I think he was expecting me to come back alive from that.
There are differences between dead. On one hand, it's killed in action. On the other, head torn off by Romulans. You will be surprised how much difference it makes on the market.
Well, we'll be bringing her alive to him as like a prisoner.
exactly, and it wouldn't be that hard to verify that the Hypatia was just outside of Romulan space not that long ago.
And it was beat to shit.
Exactly. It's plausible.
And if
Maybe
he's
we can-
working on a very short timeline, he wouldn't have enough time to dig into the details.
Captain, since you're going to be in the most danger, I believe this call is yours. Most obvious danger, anyway.
She definitely takes a moment to mull it over, but she nods firmly. It's our best chance of throwing him off kilter and getting him to say something.
But I'm sorry. I know it's not the most best thing to say now that we are actually have a plan. I really don't want you to I mean, you're the captain. I'm really sorry, but it would really be bad if you were alone with person who wants you dead, considering that you're still not recovered fully yet. I do hope you understand.
She's not going to be alone. We have the bracelets we're going to wear for a holographic disguise, and he's not. And he is not leaving that room with her. We are taking him down.
Didn't we
I
just
guess.
reprogram one of the disguises to look like Jaloran anyway?
I was just
That-
thinking that.
We could. I'll do it. So I'm a little shorter than Jaloran, unfortunately.
And the problem is we work together pretty closely. He knows my mannerisms.
I know your
knows
mannerisms
how
too,
he's-
Captain.
Not well enough.
They are just kind of like there's a slight twinge in like at the corner of her eyes. It's like she wants to say. You can tell she wants to say that's what you think, but she's not going to.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's like she just quirks a rather like she's side eyes Leora, and it's very clear like she doesn't care for someone implying that they know her better than she does.
Okay. I don't think that's what Leora was implying above board, but if that's how Jaloran took it, then that's how Jaloran took it.
I don't know, like above board, that's how the player took it too. It's like,
Oh, okay. No, like
it's one of my personal irks is like somebody
I'm sorry.
telling me that you know me better than I know myself. It's
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry. So what
And
I
when
meant,
it comes to like when it comes to mannerisms and how you speak and how you form phrases and what memories you can draw on, only Jaloran can do that with Pyre.
okay. So what I meant is that Leora was confident that she could fool the admiral. That's why I meant. Not that she knew you better. I apologize.
Yeah. But what Jaloran was getting at is like they have shared experiences that she knows Pyre would ask about that Leora does not know.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Like if he's going to do anything on the spot to verify she is who she is, only she can go.
Yeah, we have just the unfortunate thing about this situation is we have just as little time as he does, so we don't have time to brief any doubles here on anything that he might bring up to verify.
plus, again, considering that Jaloran already looks beat up, it's going to just be more confirmation that she was caught and like, resisted. All that sweet
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mira is not worried that Jaloran is not going to handle it properly. She's worried because Jaloran again is beat up, and as her patient specifically, she is like kind of
Okay.
aware that there might be a problem.
Here's my thought on how we do this. We've got 2 of the bracelets, right?
Yeah.
That means Jaloran and 2 other people. I think I should be one of those people, and I think Mira should be the other one. And my reasoning for this is Mira's a decent hand in hand-to-hand combat, if it should come to that, but also I think it's important to have somebody, in this case Leora, in a position of command to be able to do something if the situation gets out of hand, as well as get behind the controls of the ship if necessary.
Leora was about to argue until you said that last part, and then she was like, okay.
I'm definitely down for it, and I do know a little bit of how people talk during this, exchanges usually. So I should be able to handle a little bit of acting.
All right.
And I would really rather be closer to the captain when the moment strikes.
Right. That's the other part of this, is if things should go sideways, there's a good chance that if he smells something off, that he'll try to just off the captain. I'm not suggesting that we plan for an eventuality where the captain gets hurt, but at the very least, we have a contingency should that happen. I'd rather have medical personnel on site.
I would have gone whether you invited me or not. I mean, apologies.
There's
That's
also
not
that.
a good thing to say to the commander, but yeah. You know me too well.
All right. Seems like you have created a plan. Eventually, I'm sure Kavai and Teen will eventually return after being uncomfortable on the bridge because y'all are the worst. But Teen will
I just
give
come back in with snacks.
Teen will give a rundown of these bracelets to Mira and Alec. From what Hera told me about these do run out of charge. They last once you're down there. They're good for quick espionage missions. They're good for an hour.
I thought you would say like 2 hours, man.
They're prototypes.
crazy.
We're working on it.
Do we
Let's take a
have?
look at this thing real quick. I gotta get my grubby little mitts on it.
We don't have time for you to examine it. I will send you the blueprints, Kai.
Do we have enough momentum to create an advantage here?
Starry eyes.
I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping track of the momentum, so I don't know what we have.
No, I've lost track a couple times.
Let me do the math. 2 minus 1.
Yeah, so many times. I just keep
You should
forgetting.
have at least-
Actually,
I-
I have 1.
Okay, never mind then. Okay.
Believe you
Yeah,
have
I was gonna say
1.
we have 1. Yeah.
Not enough to create
Okay.
an advantage.
1.
Cool. Then never mind.
All right.
Bummer.
You meet within the allotted time. Being a little diligent, you do put a scan on the compound just to see what you're working with. 1 human life sign, and it looks like various different species. Your guess is mercenary group of some kind. There appears to be about a dozen of that as well.
Oh, good, and I thought this would be difficult.
No time like the present, Captain. Commander.
She just takes a deep breath and let's get this over with.
I'll put Captain Jaloran in manacles.
Mm-hmm.
Mira's going to check that they are not like too tight.
Front or behind?
I think, honestly, front. But if it's possible to have them like rigged up with like a quick release that Jaloran could trigger, is that a possibility?
It is a possibility because these are your manacles that you can program how you deem fit.
Okay.
All right. Heading down. You were given like a location to transport at, and you get like specific directions via communications. Like, this is where you will transport at. You do not follow these instructions to a T. The deal is just straight up off.
Yeah. I'm sure this was sort of like implied, but I want to make sure that we cover all of our bases here. Literally any kind of communication that we get either way, I want to have like probably Kana and Kavai trying to like just compiling everything into like just record everything.
Yeah.
And maybe having backups of what we record into separate drives in case anything happens to the ship. Individual crew
100%.
members have that data on them.
All right. Transporting down to the surface here. You are met by 2 Nausicaans with big disruptor rifles. And as you are all aware, disruptors do not have a stun setting. They kind of check you up and down, check to see if you're armed at all, which are you or no?
I feel like it would be more suspicious if we weren't armed.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
will demand that you give up your armaments, essentially.
Yep. I'll agree, but I will fix them with my best, like, condescending Romulan glare.
Mm-hmm. They're Nausicaans. They don't care what you think.
Amir doesn't.
We gotta
doesn't-
sell it. We
doesn't
gotta
talk,
sell it.
But she's like very. She emits like very, very threatening growls. She does the. I
Yeah.
can't do this. I can't. My
Yeah.
my throat
I
can't do
gotcha.
that.
Moving through the halls of this compound, eventually you were led to what is probably what was the command center at one point. As Admiral Pyre is there with a couple of other mercenaries, seem to be listening to him quite well, so either he's worked with them before or they're getting paid quite a lot somehow. Alright, so there's... Well, this is interesting.
Jaloran just gives him a very surly scowl, but moves in such a way that indicates that she's also in pain.
Admiral Pyre, we would like to offer up a particular renegotiation of the price. I suspect we shall be able to come to a satisfactory agreement, and I'll sort of indicate Jaloran.
Perhaps, but let's verify the... Looks at Jaloran, chooses words carefully, because he's still not sure if he's being played or not. The currency, as it were.
That gets him an extra scowl.
I'm curious.
As she scowls, Mira kind of grabs her arm and kind of shakes her, not in a like super violent way, but just shakes her.
She just grunts a little bit and readjusts her stance.
Well, points to 2 of the mercenaries, and the door that you entered kind of close behind. I just want to be sure that we're not going to do anything hasty. I hope you understand.
I would not be here if I thought that any shortcuts were going to be taken. Now, please let us not waste each other's time. Get on with it.
Captain Jalor, and I'm surprised to find you all the way out here.
I'm equally surprised to find you out here.
Well, everyone's gotta take a leave of absence sometimes. Everything that's about to occur, I hope you realize, is nothing personal at all.
Clearly.
I'm just for you, Sub-Commander, I just have a... You... How did you come across Captain Jalor? And I imagine it wasn't easy to acquire without due injury to yourself or your crew.
On the contrary, we got lucky. We were monitoring Starfleet communications and transportation lines, happened upon them after they'd had quite the scrape. It took next to no effort to apprehend their vessel and take the captain here into custody.
If we'd been at
Short-
full strength, I wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Well,
Mira,
then we are all
Mira
quite
shakes her
fortunate that you
again
were
for
not.
being like this, talking to them like this. No, but
I'm sure being
Short-
Tal Shiar, you're at least a little informed of Captain Jalor's skill set.
Which particular skill set are you referring to?
Her ability to go equally toe-to-toe with Klingon and Romulan alike in hand-to-hand combat.
It was our good fortune that we caught her when she was already injured from a previous engagement. We caught them by surprise. After some verification of her identity, we realized this would present us with a unique opportunity to re-enter negotiations with you.
So you did verify her identity then?
Of course.
He moves up, he does this with his fingers, and 4 mercenaries kind of take ready aim stances. If you verified her identity, you would know that putting cuffs in the front is a fool's errand. So, let's renegotiate. That's where we'll stop.
no, fun. I kind of thought about putting them in the bag, but then I was like, yeah, well, they know
Yeah.
better.
That's why the
My
question
reasoning was
important.
it would be, yeah. My reasoning was that it would be like more suspicious if they were behind, because like I wanted them to see she's definitely like manacled.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I actually have an idea
But
how we can
anyways,
solve that one.
we will pick this up next episode and probably conclude it then, and then close out the series. But until then, as we always say, we hope we have been a delightful little slice of R&R, and we will see you next time.